Most women would describe their wedding day as the biggest day of their lives.
Most men would too if they knew what was good for them, Kristen.
Yes, and hopefully they do. And with all the attention the royal wedding is drawing, we called in a wedding cake expert who knows more than a thing or two about planning that big day.
Laura Shirley is the owner of La Chantilly. I think I said that right. It's Fine Pastries. They've been in business here in Albuquerque for a long time. Welcome.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much for coming in.
What do you start with when you're planning a wedding, Laura?
Well, first you need a bride and a groom. A ring on the finger. The first thing I think, especially in Albuquerque, that is necessary would be to secure the venue. Both the ceremony and the reception. Depending on how many people you're having, there aren't that many venues that can hold a large group for a wedding.
And then I would think that you'd also probably planning the venue. I was just in a wedding yesterday, of course, in North Carolina, where we had all those thunderstorms move through, and they had an outdoor wedding. But thankfully, they had a tent secured, and they had alternate plans. But that's something you want to think about too, right?
Plan B. My oldest son got married in August, and it was the same thing. Everything was planned for outside, but we certainly had to have a plan B just in case, especially here in New Mexico. I guess that's anywhere.
And really, did they look at sort of forecasts for that date? I know that my sister and brother-in-law, when they were getting married in the summer, which is always a little bit dodgy. Can be with our afternoon monsoons here. I think a wise thing to do is always to check out what's that day usually like. Did your...
The problem is, when you're planning a wedding a year in advance, you don't know what the weather's going to be like in a year from today.
Right.
So you kind of have to go with trends.
You do. And we do. I'll get a lot of emails about that. Hey, do you know what the weather's going to be like, say, October 7th coming up this fall? And you can just say, well, typically it's this, but you got to plan for everything.
Kristen busts out her old Farmer's Almanac.
Yeah, no.
So once you've got all of that stuff set, obviously the cake is very, very important, and La Chantilly is perfect for that.
Yeah.
we like to think so, yes. Cake is very important. It tends to be when people walk into a reception room, they want to see the cake. They go right to the cake table.
And this is from Kyle and Sierra's wedding.
That's my oldest son's wedding cake.
Oh, okay. Tell us a little bit about that cake.
It was such a fun wedding. Sierra's grandmother has peacocks. And so we had peacock feathers everywhere, in the flowers, on the cake, in the little napkins on the table. Peacock feathers were everywhere. It was just a real fun wedding. Fond memories.
Gorgeous.
Extra pressure making it for a relative than you would feel, you know, like if you're just doing it for everybody?
The pressure with that particular cake is, she was like, you do whatever you want. Well, which is fine. I'm happy to do whatever I want, but they still have to love it because I mean, it is their day. And
whose cake were we looking at there, Shirley? Did you
actually, that was Molly McKernan's. Many years ago, I don't know if Pat McKernan from the Dukes. That was Molly McKernan's wedding cake.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Oh, that's another pretty one. So what did you do with this cake?
This is a rolled fondant cake, and it has the royal icing little plumes. It was, she brought the idea to us, and we had never done anything like that at the time, and it's like, well, sure, we'll give that a go. And thankfully it worked out just wonderfully.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Oh, look at this one. That one's really nice. Tell us about this one.
Flowers, ribbons, that's generally how we at La Chantilly like to bring in color, is through ribbons and flowers rather than the icing with color that tends to, everybody leaves with red or blue mouths.
Oh, yeah, no.
So we try not to do that. Or if it gets smashed in the bride's face, you certainly don't want the color on their wedding dress.
Now, Laura, from the groom's perspective, I know that this probably is not that popular, but cost was always a concern. Do you guys have options for the cost-conscious groom and consumer?
As far as the cake goes, yes, we can certainly do a smaller tiered cake and then sheet cakes on the side. Pastries, you can do individual pastries along with. I do suggest some type of tiered cake for a photo op. I think it's very necessary in the aftermath. I know a lot of brides want the cupcake option, which is a great cost-effective option as well. But if you have at least, you know, a small two-tiered cake, that you can get the cake cutting tradition.
Right.
And photo ops.
Now, what makes the price go up? Like, what are some of the things that you can cut? Is it how tall it is, or is it this, like, the flowers that go on top, or what is it that?
It's the size.
The size.
I mean,
okay.
However many people you're feeding, you know, the more people you're going to feed, the higher the cost of the cake. At Le Chantilly, we have two prices: the French buttercream price and the rolled fondant price.
Okay.
But flowers are not extra unless they're exotic orchids or something along those lines.
Oh, wow.
And the decoration is not extra.
And we have another picture of another wedding cake here. What is this?
That's actually not a wedding cake. That's off the website. It's more of a fruit tart.
A fruit tart, okay.
Yes, which is a nice summer option.
Yeah.
That you could do. It's a sugar crust with custard, fresh fruit. But no, the red isn't icing.
It's not.
Oh, really? What is it?
It's the fruit with glaze.
Ooh, yum. So will that stain your mouth or no?
No.
Ah, very important.
Now, what do you think about, as we look at maybe some more of the cake offerings that you've got here from Le Chantilly? What is this one here, Laura?
That's a Le Marquis. It's a chocolate cake baked with no leavening, so it has a very dense brownie-like texture.
Ooh.
And then it's glazed in a semi-sweet chocolate glaze.
Now, yeah, it's important. And, of course, they all taste wonderful, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I should mention as well, brides tend to be conforming more to more flavor options in the cake, which we're happy to do as well.
Okay.
You know, some tiers chocolate, some tiers maybe carrot cake.
Okay. Well, delicious either way you go to it. La Chantilly. It's located at 8216 Manal Northeast in the Hoffmantown Shopping Center. The number to call is 293-7057, and the website is lachantillybakery.com. They're open Monday through Saturday from 7 in the morning until 6 at night, so definitely stop by. Of course, we are in this prime wedding time right now, and of course, I'm sure engagement's coming up too, so definitely check that out. Laura, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure to have you.